Hello again. I'm Lamisile Pamela Ngubane, and this is the Entity Dynamics podcast. So, yeah, I was saying, like, if you have a worldview based on a God who is able to condemn people wholesale based on their inability to live up to his standards, then you are going to be someone who is also prone to dismiss people because they don't live up to what particular standard you think they should live up to, right? And I said in the first video of this new series, so to speak, that a lot of people, I believe, don't actually worship a creator. They worship institutions. Their affiliation is not, their devotion is not to a higher power, but their devotion is to institutions. And I said this is why, despite billions of people on this planet claiming to be religious, they lack the power to command their own lives, which you would expect from someone who claims to have an intimate connection with a higher power. Their intimate connection is with religious institutions and with the people in those institutions. Now, there's a lot of good people in many religious institutions who really believe in connecting to the creator, in being loving and serving people, right? But if you look at the nucleus of those institutional hierarchies and bureaucracies, there you will find that there's a lot of undermining of what the actual teachings were by the so-called founders of those religions, right? And then obviously, consequently, an undermining of the nature of the creator, right? So people use the word God to relate to the creator. Other people say creator or source. You know, I prefer the word creator personally because the word God has an epistemology which I don't think defines the creator. Because I think what Christ said about the creator is what the creator is. He's spirit. He is a spirit, you know. So, and what does the spirit have a gender? Does it have a color? It's spirit, you know, it's consciousness. But what is consciousness? It's a whole other story. Consciousness is able to do things, is the creative source. Consciousness is the beginning. You know, hence why I say culture creates behavior. The worldview creates the behavior. The consciousness creates the behavior, which then creates the reality. So these religious institutions have taken truths given by highly evolved beings, okay, highly conscious beings that are like directly connected to source, to the creator, and then distorted them in order to make those truths frameworks for the psychological enslavement of human beings. Okay. In terms of Christianity, I believe that this happened in the 300s AD with the founding of the Constantinian councils under Emperor Constantine of Rome. This is when I believe Christ's message was actually hijacked and institutionalized to serve the purposes of empire. And so 700 years later, here we are, where about 3 billion people claim to believe that Christ is the Messiah. They claim to follow him. And yet their lives do not represent, not everyone, obviously, but the vast majority are cultural Christians. Right? They call themselves Christians. They celebrate Christmas, Easter. When they get married, they do it in a church in front of a priest. When they get buried in a cemetery at a church in front of a priest with a Christian service, right? They do the sign of the cross. Some of them, they believe Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and no one can come to the Father except through him. But, and in some settings, you know, it's cultural in terms of like the society has made Christianity the state religion sort of thing, right? And what that's what Rome did, the Roman Catholic Church in Europe. And when I say the Roman Catholic Church, I'm talking about Constantine Church, not post-schism 1099, where it was now the Eastern Orthodox and the Coptics versus Rome, which was in Western Europe. I'm talking about, Constantinian Catholicism. That became the state religion, right? And it also became, with the establishment of the Roman Catholic Church after the Great Schism, Rome took over life of people in Western Europe, right? And in doing so, they established themselves as the arbiter of what it meant to be a devotee of the higher power, who is the creator, right? And if you disagreed with what they were saying, they would kill you or they'd take you out, If you were protected by other powers, then maybe you would survive. Like if you look at Martin Luther, after he rebelled against Rome, he was protected by the princes of Germany, who were actually sick and tired of paying taxes to the Roman Catholic Church, to the Vatican. Okay, so my point is this. When you have institutions hijacking the message of great spiritual teachers in order to fulfill their political, social, and economic objectives, and people adhere to those ideologies that have been filtered through these institutions with these objectives, chances are you are going to be worshiping something which does not affirm you as a person and does not affirm your relationships with other human beings, but makes you feel good about yourself when you subordinate your understanding of life to what the institution is telling you you should be believing about the creator and about yourself and about your place in the creation. So if we look at the state of human beings on planet Earth right now, as we speak right now, there are several wars that are taking place. People are being killed. People are being forced to leave their houses. Children are dying of malnutrition. There is women being raped. There are people's buildings being burnt, churches being burnt, mosques being burnt, synagogues, temples, this, that, everything being burnt. Huts where ceremonies are being done, being burnt in the name of a worldview, which says that certain people are more human and more special and more worthy of respect and their lives more worthy of protection than others. And if you look at it, it goes back to what do people believe about the creator. If you believe that only you and your people who believe in the creator in a certain way are going to meet the creator after you die and the rest are going to be thrown into some sort of damnation, then you're saying that you're superior to other human beings. And what do you think you're going to do if that's what you believe about people? You're obviously going to behave like you're superior. You're obviously going to say, oh, it's okay to steal that person's money or that person's car or his children as slaves or whatever. You're going to do whatever you want, right? Because that person is inferior to you. And then you're going to try force them to adhere to what your institution says is the right way to worship or understand God. So all I'm saying, is that we have to start developing a culture of questioning ideologies that undermine life on this planet, whether it's your life, whether it's the life of your fellow countrymen, whether it's the life of that other guy from that other country, that other person from that other religion, you as a human being in your own personal life. Like who is whoever that person is in that high-powered position in that religious institution to tell you how to live your life, unless he's saying live your life in such a way that honors the lives of other people. Who is that person? Because the creator has made free will one of the foundational laws of creation, free will. And then you have someone coming and telling you that, no, you must live like A, B, C, D. That's undermining your free will. So these are things we have to talk about and think about, I believe, if we want to start to have a better understanding of ourselves and the world. Okay, see you in the next one.